Avoiding disaster. For your very first brew day, there are lots of home kits and instructions, but most importantly, you want everything cleaned and laid out before you. You don't want to have to worry about pouring in your liquid malt extract into your kettle and not having your spoon, and then burning your sugars at the bottom of your kettle. By having everything laid out, you know that you have a step-by-step process and that you can just approach it, and it's much easier that way. The most important thing you should do, though, is have sanitizer present. The easiest thing you can use is bleach, but I would suggest Star San. You can purchase it at any homebrew shop. It is a one-step non-rinse sanitizer, so you actually want it to be the last item touching it. If you see bubbles, which it does make, don't be afraid. Star San is actually non-flavor and non-aroma producing. Usually when sanitizing bottles prior to bottling a beer, it looks like it's full of soap. We still just fill the beer straight into it. Sanitation is probably the most important thing you want. There are little bugs everywhere that can potentially sour your beer. That's not typically the way you want to go. Sour beers do exist, in which we still sanitize everything so that we know exactly which lacto or bacteria we have introduced to our beer. The third avoiding disaster point, do not drink too much. This is mainly from friends. Even if you do have everything laid out, homebrewing is always fun. You just don't want to miss that hop addition or the temperature or anything like that. Definitely make it a fun all day hanging out with your friends sort of deal. I would suggest, though, that you not drink too much. You also would like to clean as you go. This may not seem as a very fun step to homebrewing. I will admit, I did not know what I was getting myself into when brewing, but 90% of it is cleaning. You get used to it, it's actually kind of fun. This way, when you clean as you go, you don't have a giant mess at the end that's quite overwhelming, and then all of your items are clean for your next brew day. I would also suggest a lot of patience. Just because people do it all the time, there are people who've been doing it for a long time. Just make sure you're watching your fermenter or your carboy. It may seem that it has stopped if you kind of maybe give it a little shake and kind of get yeast back up into solution and get your beer to ferment out a little bit more. I would say if a beer sits longer in a carboy, it's not a bad thing if you don't have time to get to it. But I would say do indulge in patience. It will probably produce a much more enjoyable beer.